Welcome to a very special episode of Costly Conversations. I'm super excited to have Ken Scott of Provectus Group on the line with me today. Thank you for coming in, Ken.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, man, it's a blessing to have you on, bro. Just a little bit of housekeeping for those who are watching or listening, wherever you are. If you're on the podcast, hop over to Twitter real quick. Let me know where you're listening from, whether that be from Google Podcasts or Spotify, wherever. But also, if you're on YouTube, please go ahead and like, share, subscribe, all the little YouTube stuff. It helps us out because YouTube doesn't love gun content, but of course they love stuff that is liked and shared. So let's go ahead and beat them that way.
Thank
you so much for doing that, and of course, onto the show. Ken, super happy to have you on, bro. I do want to know real quick, just for those who are interested in, like, who is Ken? Like, for some reason they don't know you for some reason.
Okay.
Who are you and what are you doing, and why is it important to what we're doing here, or why is it important, period?
Well, my name is Ken Scott. I'm the CEO and founder of Provectus Group. We travel the world. We teach people how to stay alive. Honestly, I don't think that there's any better gift that you could share or give to somebody than to teach them or empower them to be able to take care of themselves, protect their loved ones and the people around them. That's why it's important.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I put up a post talking about, like, Ken's coming on the show. It's going to be all sorts of awesome dad energy. And I think that's, I've been getting that vibe. We were talking a little bit before, and we were actually recording before, and something happened. And it was on me, my bad, guys. Y'all missed it.
Might have had a little practice.
I mean, a little practice. It helps. But, we were just talking about those awesome dad vibes, and it's missing in the 2A community and a lot of what we do. Because at the end of the day, you could be a tactical guru or this or that or a goon or whatever you call yourself, bro. Like, you can be anything. But when it's time to put that away and go hang out with your family or go hang out with your close friends, when it's time to be intimate with people, sometimes you have to have a personality. People joke about if you didn't have guns, if guns went away, if you lost your page on Instagram or whatever, would you have a personality?
That's right.
And I think it's important to consider that, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, first off, I'm glad that you're touching on this, because everywhere I look in the industry, that's what I see. It's very, very rare that you actually see people just being genuine, just being themselves, just being, fill in the blank. And but when we truly look at it, I mean, that's just how we are in life. That's a humankind thing, So I look at it like, everybody is, I don't know, wanting to be accepted, and it's taken me a long time, to be okay with not being accepted from people around me, and learning how to truly learn how to only care about what God thinks, so that's been a major milestone in my life personally, and it's been absolutely amazing. Talk about freeing. I know how to trust people now. I hear people throw around this word called freedom, and because we live in the United States, that word is synonymous, in conversations every day. Honestly, though, I think that true freedom is in vulnerability. When you're able to be vulnerable with yourself and be vulnerable with the people around you, and truly be oneself, man. You can truly be yourself around people. You don't care what they're saying about you. When they do say something, you're like, man, I was talking about that last week. You late. You know what I mean? Like, dude, let me tell you something, man. There is freedom and vulnerability. And coming from somebody, we all have our traumas from childhood. And usually we like to, think of traumas as something we see on a movie, or it had to have been this crazy thing like rape or molestation or something. No, there's traumas that happen every single day in our childhood. That doesn't make our parents, bad. Our parents were amazing. It's just, we're human. We make mistakes. So, I mean, take it from somebody like me who had the childhood trauma like everybody. Law enforcement doesn't do anything but reinforce the negative of the world. I mean, think about it. 90% of the calls I went to was the worst day of someone's life. I got to see the worst, so I had some trust issues, man. So it's honestly, that's what it is. I really wish that people can find that one day, like I have. If I can find it, you can too. Like, man. And let me tell you, I live in the moment now. I'm living my best life, but it ain't got nothing to do with money or status or anything. It's just where I'm at personally, as a man,
Yeah. I think there is something special about that vulnerability, the freedom when it comes to that, being able to say what needs to be said
Yeah.
and to don't do things that you shouldn't do or to do things that you should do.
That's right.
And not really consider all the repercussions. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm passionate about costly conversations and just the idea of just come on, get on here, say what you need to say, cancel me if you want to. I'm going to say what's on my heart. And I think it's kind of a process of kind of even becoming more comfortable with doing that. But also, years ago, I was in my phone a lot and my wife was, we were dating at the time, and she was like, are you comfortable being alone with your thoughts? That hit me. And when you were talking, it just kind of was like, man, wow. A lot of us in life, in just the human experience in the two-way space and things like that, is like, man, how comfortable are we just being alone with our thoughts?
That's
just
right.
Sitting there and reflecting on the good in life or the things that we need to improve. So,
to be honest, I'm not really sure where I got it from, but I've always had like this working motto of either I'm gonna sit on the sidelines and bitch about it, or I'm gonna get in the game. You know what I mean? And actually affect some real change. And that's kind of like what this is, man. It's recognizing a calling on your life and running from it for a long time. And I'm not talking about anything to do with guns. And then finally going, all right, I'm gonna say something. You know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna do something. So I'm leading from the front. With everything that we're doing. How we teach, how we run our businesses, how we share the game with people regarding business. I'm a serial entrepreneur. A lot of people don't know that. Our content that we put out, our vlogs. We do the vlogs because we want to show you what Black excellence looks like. We want to show you what a different example of what you should expect when you see Black people. Because in the news we were painted as super predators. You know what I'm saying? And don't think that that advertisement of Black people didn't work. It worked on me too. It works on Black folks, white folks, everything. So I'm gonna do my part. You know what I mean? And I hope that everything that we do inspires. And I hope that it can be a different example to the kids that look like me. That their only way of being successful is this idea. Over here. This is the only way I can be something with myself or do things. I want to show them something different. All the same reasons why I police. We're doing it now, but now we can help millions.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. I'm curious. So during the conversation that I had with Tig or Marshall Davis, I asked the question, "Who is Marshall Davis?" And now I'm really curious to hear, other than what you've already said, and maybe you could incorporate it. Who is Ken Scott? Like,
Ken Scott is a man who's trying to be the best man that he possibly can be. Ken Scott is a man who's trying to live to my full potential. Ken Scott is a man who has failed millions of times. Ken Scott is a man who's going to continue to make mistakes because he's learned that that's where true lessons and wisdom come from. I'm trying to take over the world so we can fix it. I'm trying to take over the world so that we can actually do some good for the first time. I don't know if America has ever been great, to be honest with you. So I want to give people a choice, by being trained and being knowledgeable and being an intelligent defensive person. That's what we want. We want people to be trained up with these firearms so that they can have a choice, especially if you look like me, you know. So it's about a hell of a lot more than a gun and you know, a company that teaches guns. It's so much more. To be honest with you, I didn't even start out like that. You know, it was just to start out to teach people, and I had a passion for that. And then God, you know, showed me a little bit more of what I was supposed to be doing. I was like, oh snap, you know. So here we are, you know, and we're gonna keep on going until I die.
Keep on pushing.
That's right.
I mean, there's no other way. I mean,
that's who I am.
If you do
man.
the other thing, if you do the other thing, are you being sincere? Are you being yourself?
That's right. I didn't even finish the thing. I'm a dad too. I'm a husband. I love life, man. You know, I've been depressed before. I've gotten through that. You know, I love to help you. You know, I love waking up on the right side of the bed. You know, I love going out of my way to do something beautiful for somebody, because you never know, you know, that one thing you could have made their day. You know what I mean? You could have made their year, you know. What happened to that? You know, it kind of ties into what you were talking about earlier, where you see the egos and all that crap. You know, you don't see the dad, you don't see the guy, you don't see the husband, you don't see the wife, you see the facade. You know, you see all this other stuff. But I mean, that's why we shine, you know, because we're just being us. I remember when we started the company, I remember thinking to myself, man, how am I going to be different? And then one day it hit me. I'll just be myself, because there's nobody else like me. So,
all right.
And it made it easy.
Like everybody's an operator, bro. Like everybody's good. Everybody's great.
And even if you did, I don't want to do it anymore.
Right. Like be something else. Be yourself. And I think that's so dope, bro. I am curious, because you've done a lot, and you've gotten to this really cool place, like industry wise, where it's like, okay, wow, you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're basically associated and affiliated with a lot of really cool guys who are in the gun space, but also a lot of really cool guys who are Black or African American, whatever you choose to call folks. And it's like, man, how did you become one of? I mean, I would consider you one of the OGs at this point. How did you become that? Like, where did that come from?
You know, I really don't know. I really. It's not because I've been in the space a long time or anything. I've only been in the space like 5.5 years. We started the company in April of 2016. I just think that maybe there wasn't a lot of people who looked like me that were already occupying the space. So it was kind of easy, I guess, you know, because, you know, coming from the background that I had, this calling for teaching and, you know, being tanned, you know, like it just kind of worked out. But that's what happens when God has a calling on your life. You know, whatever he's called you to do, he's already hooked you up. He's already prepared you for it. So it's that's how I got here, man. You know, God got me here. To be honest with you, this is no longer my plan. This is his. To be honest with you, I like his plan. It's a lot less stress. Things always work out, you know.
Get it, bro.
Yeah, like I guess that's how I'm here, you know. You know, just trying to do halfway right. You know, honestly, it's the biggest thing now is because I've been in this. I've been here before, as far as like I know what it's like. You know, you look up to people, I hate that. But then, in a sense, you know, if I'm sharing positive, you know, and then I can drop these little nuggets about life, you know, little life hacks, business hacks, stuff about God, you know, maybe that's great, you know, where it's something people are taking in, but outside of that, I don't really like it.
It is. Nah. It is weird, man. I mean,
very much.
I got recognized at the range one time, and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How did I?
Yeah.
Who are you? Oh, hi. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. Let me at least say hi.
That's right. Yep. It is. Man. It is. People, I've looked several people up and down, head to toe, walking into the gas station, like, what you trying to do to me? But they're recognizing me from YouTube, you know?
Right. That's really cool. But I think it's also like nerve wracking at the same time. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Do I know you from? Do I know you from real life or?
Yeah, I put some what they used to call silver bracelets on you before. I'm sorry, but I promise you deserved it.
He said, "I promise."
Yeah, I wasn't that kind of cop. You deserved it. If I
promise. Yeah, no, that's awesome, and that's good to hear because I think a lot of people hopefully we can touch on this in a second, but a lot of people look at cops, especially black cops, and they're like, "Oh man, you're more blue than you are black." Just that there's this huge kind of an awful stigma because there's a lot of really dope cops, guys that we actually trust in the community, guys who are like 2A guys, and it's like, oh man, you are definitely down for black people. You're not trying to jam anybody up, but you're trying to do your job and keep your community safe.
That's right.
I can name Tactical Carl as one. I don't know him personally, but I've only heard good things.
He's cool,
and you see, vouching for him right now. And obviously, you wouldn't say he's cool if he wasn't cool. So,
he's cool as hell.
Yeah. And of course, there's you, and there's others that I could mention that occupied or occupy currently the role of some sort of law enforcement LE. And there's this huge stigma in the black community. How do you feel like you were able to navigate that? And we'll just hit it right now. How do you feel like you still navigate that? Do you feel like it puts people off?
Well, you have to know how to communicate. So I was the cop that I didn't understand the hood because I was not raised in the hood. So when you're not raised somewhere, it could be you could get nervous. It can give you a little uneasy feeling. Make you feel uncomfortable because it's the unknown. It's just like any other situation. Although you would think, man, you guys are all black, it shouldn't be a problem. Nah, it doesn't matter your skin color. So what I did when I got in law enforcement is I injected myself into that community. Best way to find out is to get the hell out of the police car, right? So we used to do that. I used to get out and go and stand on the corner right next to the dope boy and would have to tell him on a few occasions, hey, man, like I ain't here for no drugs. Man, I'm just here to chill, straight up. If you want to learn about the community, you need to get in the community. It's no different if you want to learn a foreign language, move to the country. You'll learn in a few months, so it's about immersion. But what I learned, and this is, I think, what the important part, what I learned was what they're doing is no different than what we're doing. We all have our definition of success, and then we all have our definition of how to get there. So where I was raised to do certain things, right, and get a job, and, whether you went to college or not, but that or own a business, I had all these options. Right? Yeah. Where for some people, they have very limited options. So when those options are limited, you go with the available options that you have, no different than mine. And that's what I saw. So then I went, okay, me arresting them ain't helping. They're going to keep doing it. It's their livelihood. I get it. Right. So then it became, all right, look, the only time we go in the hood don't need to be when we lock people up, because these kids that are 4, 5, 6, and 7 years old, that's their first impression of law enforcement. We need to be in there actually giving a damn, straight up, and having the courage as a law enforcement officer, no matter how much melanin is in your skin. I don't want people to sit here and think that, oh, well, he black, so it's easier. No, it ain't. It ain't no easier. I can guarantee you it's probably harder for a white dude, but you still got to do it. Interject yourself, man. Look, we are all very similar. We're a lot more similar than you think. And I'm just blessed that I was able to somehow come to the realization that, look, I need to maybe stay in the hood a little bit. Maybe I need to get out of the car. And these folks are folks just like us, and it felt good to be able to go in the hood anytime I please and can get out and talk to anybody. And we actually made a difference because they actually felt that they could trust me because they could. I demonstrated it over and over and over again. So there is no answer, as far as the right answer that's going to appeal or work for everyone. But I do think that, and this is coming from a former, chief of police, law enforcement has to lead from the front with this. Okay, it's not something that you can expect the citizenry to do on their own. They have a lot of distrust in law enforcement, and I think that they should have distrust in law enforcement. So in order to gain that trust again, it's on law enforcement to do it. But it's also on the citizenry as well. We got to work together. And and it goes back to that vulnerability. It goes back to a law enforcement officer saying, hey, look, I'm scared to come in the hood sometimes. Guess what? There was times where I was scared to come in the hood. There's times when I'm afraid to come in the hood. There's times where, we get calls and I got to wait for 3 or 4 more people to come because that's where all the crazy shit's happening. Just be real. Just be real. That's what we do. We need people that are willing to just be real. And just be honest, because there's some people, there's so many people that live in those areas, Black people now, who are in their 80s and 90s, they own their own home. And for a lot of them, they're the first in their family to ever own anything. Yeah. And that's the reason why they ain't coming off that damn house. And they'd rather to never lose what they accomplished. And probably the hardest times, or some of the hardest times to live here in the United States. Yeah, I see why they ain't trying to unass that house. They're going to deal with them bullets flying by. So interject yourself in the community so you can find out that kind of stuff. And now you can have a real reason for doing your job, and that's what translates into making sure your ass is in the community when the kids get off the bus to make sure they get home. Stuff like lead from the front. And it's something I've always told, my brothers and sisters in blue is, look, don't let that badge define you. You define that badge. Right. It takes people with courage, man, to do that job the right way. Hell, we see it every day online on social media. It's so much easier to go with the crowd, man. As a cop, you going against everybody running away from it. You got to go to it. It takes courage. But you know what? It's been a long time since the badge has been humanized. They look like a bunch of machines and stuff, and I get it. I see it now. Absolutely. So they got to humanize the badge. Hey, man, take it off and speak like a person, just be you. Just be you. And you got to develop those relationships in the community and do it from a genuine place. And then the next thing I'll say, we support the good cops in blue. We support all of you, including down to laying my life on the line to protect yours. But this is what I need you to do for me. When you're working next to that cop who's a piece of shit and shouldn't be there, make sure they get going. Make sure they either quit or it's time for them to get out the door. That's my pledge that I would like to see from them. These bad cops got to go. And I've been there. Let me tell you something. If you think it's hard to rat on your coworker working at the plant, imagine what it's like to rat on your coworker here, cop. Hey, I'm just keeping it real. We all been there. We've all been there, and I've been a part of getting rid of some, but there's some that I wish I would have spoke up a little bit louder about. And that's the reason why I can sit here and talk about this right now. Yeah. It ain't coming from a place of, well, this is what you should do. Nah, this is what I should have did. So I'm going to share that with you so maybe you can have the courage like I couldn't sometimes. You know what I mean? It ain't about how you look. It ain't about, let's just be real, because we're dealing with human issues and we sitting here acting like we ain't. So let's be vulnerable. There's some shitty folks out there. Let's get them going.
No, you're absolutely correct. And I appreciate you being so vulnerable as to admit that there's even times that you felt like you should have done more. Because a lot of people, if you were smart, if you were just I'm gonna protect my reputation. Nah, every time I saw something, I did what I was supposed to do. I had integrity. But it's no. I had lapses.
That's right.
I'm not perfect.
I'm a human being.
It was a journey. Journey.
But guess what? I can stand here on my 2 feet and I'm sitting on my 2 butt cheeks, but I can sit here and I can say it proudly. This is being recorded. I can say it proudly. Yeah, it happened. Now I ain't talking about nothing major. No, we ain't talking about what we see on the news. We ain't talking about that. His homeboy would have caught these hands. Like Toby, what's his name? Try Jesus, but don't try me.
Don't try me.
Yeah. But no, we're not talking about stuff like that. But we've all had the coworker that we worked with, and we saw him maybe mistreating a customer. Nothing crazy, but you're like, dang, that was a little rough. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We've all been there, and that's where it starts. Yes, we've done it. You know, so that's why I'm saying it's almost like calling a truce, you know, where it's like, hey, look, police, we need you. We need you bad, okay? And you need us. So we need you guys to get rid of them raggedy cops and, you know, get rid of them. And if you need our help, we'll help you, you know, but get rid of them because there's so much at stake. We're at a point where we're either going to have to come to some kind of truce and let bygones be bygones, and let's move forward doing the right thing, okay? Because there's so many millions and millions and millions of layers. It would almost be impossible to get through them and try to remedy them. It really, to try to identify all the bad, at what point does it matter? It's like, look, get rid of these cops, okay? Let's move forward and let's do it right. You know, like, because, you know, like either we're going to stay stagnant and we're going to keep watching the same stuff on the news and keep talking about the same things, or we're going to move forward with a plan. And I would like to move forward with a plan that's nonviolent and that's actually going to solve and get to the root of these problems. Yeah. Martin Luther King did it. Them dudes, they moved mountains without violence. Now, don't think that we are not capable of being violent, but you got what I'm saying. That's why Black folks, that you need to go get you a gun, period. If you Black, you ain't got a gun, you're doing something wrong. Because there was laws that kept us from it. That's why. Yep. That's why.
Well, you heard it from the man himself.
I'm being serious. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I heard what you're saying, man. I actually have somebody who I want to bring on the show. She's actually, I didn't know she was a cop when I first discovered what she was doing. She's from Minnesota. And she actually has a program called Tactful Human. She's a cop working out of Minnesota, and she wants to basically improve community relations between police and the community with this organization. And she actually admitted, and hopefully she can kind of expound more on it, that she actually had to move departments because they weren't really interested in moving in a direction that she wanted to go.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Here it is.
I think that's tough. And obviously, whenever she comes on, I'm gonna make sure to forward you the episode so you can take a look at that. But I think it's really awesome what she's doing, and I hope that, you know, viewers and people who are interested in contributing to that kind of thing would either do what she's doing and create organizations to help create a better relationship. Kind of like how we try to create a better relationship with guns.
That's right.
And Black folks, create a better relationship between good policing and the communities where they're serving. The communities where they spend, 8, 10, 12 hours a day.
That's right.
Like they live there at that point.
That's right.
And you got to eat sometime, right?
That's right. Like, and look, let's start judging people based on their own merit, because if people judged us based off of what somebody else said, come on now, we know what that world would be like. Look, there's some bad Black ones, there's some bad white ones, there's some bad ones that's in between. I don't know what color they are. There's just bad people. Judging based on their merit. I know some white folks that's doing more than Black folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, look, man. I'm just being real. Like, it's on both sides.
I'll put it this way. Even in something as simple as, getting support for doing a podcast. That's right. I've had a lot of, some of my most, until recently, of course, some of my most vocal supporters, people I'm just in the gym talking to, I'll be like, hey, I'm working on this thing. Oh, what? That's awesome. We need more people like you doing that.
That's right.
Referring to
about.
And it's like, man, Wow, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
But where are my black folks who
That's right.
who claim that they want to see this kind of stuff?
That's
and I'm
right.
not ragging on anybody.
Obviously
I've been
reality.
seeing a lot of support, and I'm very thankful for that.
That's right.
But even in that support, I wonder, are there people who would rather see me fail because it's not exactly for them?
There's always going to be that. There's always going to be that. And that person is going to look however they look. And that's a part of life. I will say that, you know how they say, turn your haters into your motivators. It's not easy to do. It takes a long time to learn how to take negative energy and turn it into something positive. So if that's something that you're active with, I think that that's something that most people are probably actively trying to do. Just keep at it. It takes a while. But that's something you can get to, like that's what I do. I don't pay no attention.
Yeah. I think it's really funny, a little bit off topic, but still in the same vein. When I'm on places like Reddit or, the dark places in the internet, and I post a video up and someone says something like blatantly racist.
Yeah.
Oh man, that gives me energy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're making you upset.
That's right.
Here we go.
Right. But see,
I'm gonna go make another one.
That's right. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Let me tell you something, man. Like so first thing I do when somebody's criticizing me publicly is I see if it's true. Then the second thing is I try not to speak or type. Smart. I try to relax for a second, but I know what you're talking about, man. It gives you an energy. So how I look at things now is I thank that person for that energy. I thank that person for that, because if that wouldn't have happened, what beautiful, awesome stuff would you have not created? So next time, if you're able to ever meet that individual in person, shake his hand. Hey man, thanks for saying that crazy shit online, because it prompted me to make something so beautiful, and that's why I've been real big on making so many videos now. That's really why I love to come on and do stuff like this, because people get to actually get my actual opinion, on stuff where I can actually just talk and be Ken,
Yeah.
I'm very different than what you probably expect. I'll shoot you between the eyes, but I'm a very loving and compassionate individual. You know what I mean?
I got that from day one.
I do what?
I picked that up from day one.
Yeah, man. We need more love, man, and more compassion. We need more of that. Not all this hatred. That's all racism is. Racism is hatred. I know people who aren't considered or labeled racist, maybe because of their ethnicity or whatever it is. But I know people that wouldn't qualify pigment wise, but they racist. It's hatred. Hate is hate.
Yeah.
But here's what you have to remember about hate. Hate is taught. It's taught.
Yeah.
So does that mean they can't unlearn it? Does it not mean that they can't learn something new?
Yeah.
I learned something new earlier today when I was reading a book for an hour. So that's what I mean by give them a different example. Give them a different example of what to expect when they meet somebody, a man or a woman of color, or this goes out to anybody. If you're a white person, give a black person a different example of what they should expect, because in their minds, they have this idea of what a white person is. Understand you're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with the crap. I'm going to deal with it too, but we got, it's something greater and more at stake.